Hello and welcome to the top 12 haunted locations of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I am Phantom876 and this is a new series as I'm waiting for the week of October 25th to do the week of videos and the 50 sub special. While waiting for that, I thought it'd be a good idea to do these type of videos finally. I will link the site in the description below as this is the summarized version of it. Let's begin. Number 12, 304 Halpern Hall. In the late 1960s, a student of Northern Michigan University hung herself from the top bunk of her bed, and some claim her ghost still haunts the third floor hallways of the Halverson. According to the legends, the students working late at night will hear the noise of fingernail scratching on the blackboards. Is this the ghost of the student that passed, or is it the sleepless nights from studying messing with them? Number 11, the Layak Lady of the Landmark Inn. While it is known for its elegant and historic looks, the Layak Room on the sixth floor of the inn is quite popular for a meeting. Better known by those who work the switchboard on the main lobby, someone makes calls, and that someone is the Layak Lady, the lover of a former sailor who'd often stayed in the Layak Room. He also often went sailing on Lake Superior, but one day, he never came back. Many believe so for good reason. The heartbroken Layak lady committed suicide by hanging herself with Layak imprinted napkins outside of one of the many windows of the room. In the hall of the sixth floor, many of the current workers of the inn report sightings of her ghost wearing a floral gown. To this day, the switchboard receives more calls, and more sightings are reported of her. Number 10, Forrest Roberts Theater. Yet again, Northern Michigan University has more stories. In the early 1970s, one of the janitors fell victim to a very serious heart attack in the elevator that connects the theater to the arts building. With a heavy build, a full beard, and a jovial personality, he seemed like he was a very great worker. But all that work caught up to him. He died in the elevator shaft. No sightings of the janitor's spirit has been reported, but strange things tend to happen with the elevator after class hours. Cameras will catch the elevators changing floors, and doors will open while no one's inside, and the lights will start flickering on and off. Could this be the janitor trying to tell people where he's at? Number 9, Marquette Harbor Lighthouse. Marquette Harbor Lighthouse is most looked at for its gorgeous lake, but Taylor Adams, a longtime worker of the museum and the daughter of the former Coast Guard station chief, will find her eyes drawn to such spookier things. Taylor will witness a small ghost girl standing in broad daylight. This ghostly girl is seen staring out the upper window, looking at the horizon of Lake Superior. It's reported that she prefers to look when the lake is calmed, but as the winds steer up, you can hear the souls of her long-lost mother and father grieving, proving that it's too much to bear. Number 8, Bay Point Lighthouse Bed and Breakfast. Built in 1896, the Bay Point Lighthouse was built and stands alone on the beautiful Bay Point. The old lighthouse keeper William was said to be a hard-working keeper of the light. He was a perfectionist when it came to his duties. He always wrote down his rants about poor ethics of his coworkers in his journal. With that, his son took the job, but with fear of his father's stubbornness and temper. One day while working on the pier, his son lost his balance and fell, cracking his shin and cutting himself on the concrete. But scared of his father's temper, he kept working. Soon the gangrene kicked in, making him fall horribly ill. With no clear roads or trails, the only way for the boy to get medical assistance was by boat. As fast as Will rowed, it was still too late. The boy died in the boat. The next day, Will left a note to Jenny Beamer, one of the co-workers' wives. The note said, "Jenny, that's it. I'm taking the gun and I'm taking the cyanide into the woods. Goodbye." Theory goes that Jenny just so happened upon him in the woods, debating what weapon to use. She approached him with a rope that she just so happened to have. 2 years later, a walker came across the head of William, hanging from a maple tree 2 miles into the woods from the lighthouse. To this day, people report waking up to a ghost of a groundskeeper while in bed. One minute he's there, the next he's gone. Number 7, Thunder Bay Inn. One night after closing the inn and doing the final line and wash, Duke, son of the owner of the inn, went into the back kitchen downstairs to make a sandwich. After returning upstairs, he gazed up into the hallway like he normally does, but To his shock, he saw a little wooden rocking chair moving back and forth on its own. But to Duke's claims, the ghost is a friendly one. It won't bother workers or guests, but Duke stays clear, just to be safe. Number 6. Marquette Monthly. Stories are told to this day about the first print press worker Beth Ann, who lived upstairs and worked in the print office. When this building was first built in the 1930s, her job was quite dangerous one, with the daily regimen of loading the large metal printing press with ink, changing the machine's characters and fonts, handing all the print deliveries, and unclogging paper jams. One night, Beth's sleeves got caught into the cardstock feeder. No one heard her blood-curdling screams as she was the only one in the building that night. Later, her husband returned home to find his wife next to the press, covered in blood and missing her arm. Today's reports claim that you can hear the screams, still seemingly that Beth just wants to be desperately heard. Number 5. Cox Medical Center at Morgan Heights. Nestled on the side country road 492 between Marquette and Nagants, in an area known as Morgan Heights, sits two brick houses that were part of the medical center named Cox. Built in the 1930s, but it was demolished by underground tunnels. Stories are told of mentally and physically ill patients who were treated there with electroshock therapy and copious amounts of morphine-tainted elixirs. Physic mediums and local journalists have reported and detected paranormal sightings. Over hundreds of them have been reported. It's safe to say that something's going on in a Cox Medical Center. Number 4, the Chocolate River Trading Post. Now home to the Trading Post, it was once home to Oakley's Furniture Store, but the basement has a spooky past. It was once Oakley's Furniture and Undertaking. The dead would be preserved throughout the long winters for the summer burials. Maybe it's something more, even though there's barely anything reported there. Number 3. Cabin 13 at Bay Cliff Health Camp. Located 25 miles northwest of Marquette is Bay Cliff Health Camp, a non-profit summer therapy camp for the children who needs assistance with occupational speech, hearing, and visual therapy. Rumors have spread of spirits and ghostly figures of the past residents and children haunting the cabins and the common rooms. But Cabin 13 is the most infamous and told about. A child named Sam stayed at the camp and committed suicide. His ghost still haunts Bay Cliff and haunts the cabin he stayed in. Sam's cabin was full of his artwork, and the story goes one day a resident began bullying Sam for his nerdy appearance and the size and shape of his glasses. The resident continued to bully Sam by destroying his art pieces and stepping on his glasses. Unable to recreate all that art that was destroyed, Sam fell into a deep depression. It's said that he went to the center of the room named Sam's Place and used the tip of an old feathered pen as a knife to end his life. Sam's ghost is said to haunt Cabin 13 to this very day. Campers claim heavy paintings will fall off the walls at night, waking them up. It's also reported that campers at Cabin 13 visit the medical facility now and then due to stepping on glass in the scattered rug. Could all those glass shards be Sam's glasses? Number 2, Park Cemetery in Marquette, Michigan. Numerous ghost stories surround Park Cemetery on 7th Street in Marquette, but one stands out the most and relates to the old orphanage. People walking by will report a large hole in the ground by the gravestone created for a boy who was beaten to death by a nun from the orphanage. But oddly, when the hole was first reported, sightings of a green glow were reported in the basement all on its own. The green glow disappeared, and the ground was filled with flowers. It's safe to say that that poor child is finally at rest. Number 1, the Old Catholic Cemetery. Perched on the corner of the Pioneer Road and Division Street in South Marquette sits a patch of woods where the Old Catholic Cemetery used to be. This place became a burial place for numerous Marquette Catholics beginning in 1861. But due to the shortage of space between 1912 and 1925, nearly 165 Catholics were buried in the overcrowded cemetery but were transferred to the expansion space. However, not all of them. Some bodies could not be found or received, so they just were left behind. Today, reports claim that you can hear the voices and screams of the spirits looking for the loved ones that were taken from them all that time ago. And that sinister ones were the top 12 haunted locations of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. The link to the website where this summary is from will be in the link in the description below. As spooky as Marquette, Michigan is, maybe we should go there one day. Seems a lot of sinister things occur there. Until next time, Sinister Ones.